Still confused over who to pick up in Fated Summons as you're not sure what they all do. So many people saying, get this hero, get that hero. Well, I'm here to test a few more heroes. I had previously tested Ludwig, Esme, and Ruffian Nurgib, as you can see highlighted in green with my fantastic artistic skills, equivalent of a 3-month-old chimpanzee with no arms. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It shows you some great information, especially on Ludwig and Esme. Thanks to Aidan Samaconi, who has asked via YouTube. I will also be testing Eloise, Hulda, Ray, and I've thrown in Milena and also Motega because I had them and they were easy to test. Hope this helps you out and arms you better to make the best decision for your own roster. Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the SciShow, the number one ranked YouTube channel for masseuses. That's right. If you're a masseuse, I appreciate you. I would appreciate you a lot more if you come around now and give me a massage because I am sore. Let's test out Milena. Has been noted by most people as one of the better heroes in the Fated Summons pool that's coming up soon. So we can see here, limit broken once, 20 emblems. The power is obviously very low. We can keep saying it about these heroes, but that's just the fact of the matter, is that the heroes in the Fated Summons are old, and it is what it is. So a lot of people still use these older heroes. It does depend on the level you're playing the game at, but it's something we can't get around. So their stats are quite low, but we'll see. We've got the family bonus for one hero, if she's just running by herself, is a 50% chance to cast a 5% mana generation stack on an ally. Nice little bonus, but unless you're going off 3, 4, 5 times, it's not going to make much of a difference at all. The passive is a little bit nicer, so a 50% chance to give 10% mana to all allies when the character casts their skill. If it's on the second charge, being a magic hero, there are 2 different charges. So if it's on the second charge, it is 100%. So that's where it's really useful if you can get that second charge. I believe that's 12 tiles, thereabouts, depending on all your troops and that sort of thing. You'll give the 10% mana. So that's a lot of people do take that risk on the first charge because the first charge is very fast. So you're getting a 25% heal at very fast, which is quite a good, it's a decent heal at very fast speed. So you can, you know, if you haven't quite got your blues to get your other blues charged, or if you have a support, you get a really fast heal to keep you in the game. And there is just that 50% chance of giving the mana to everyone else. So we'll try and see that in action. Just taking a team of healers so I can stay alive long enough to hopefully see Milena in action and show you what she is capable of. Now, the one thing with the magic heroes and ninjas on defense is it is really hard to have them as part of your defense because you never know when they're going to go off. On offense, you at least have that control of using the first charge if you need it, or waiting for the second charge if you don't. On defense, it is a little bit of a Russian roulette, as you don't know what they're going to do. I'm not sure why she actually went off on the first charge. Quite often, and I don't know, I haven't been keeping up on it, I don't know if part of the algorithm is that they generally charge for as long as they can until they sort of get below a certain number of health, and as soon as they get low, they then just charge straight away. So we'll see if we can set her off and get her at the second charge to see her damage. We did see on the heal there the difference between newer heroes and older heroes, and just the amount of HP they have. So she's healing for 25%, but her heal was a lot lower than everyone else's. So I will highlight that when I go through the video when I edit, just to show you the difference in the HP. We can see it anyway. Total HP of 1800 as opposed to like 3000. That could be matching legendary troop and that type of thing, but I'll just see if I can get her off on the second hit now. And you can see she's quite weak, even just with one hero with green, the 3 green tiles has taken her health down quite a bit. So just trying to get her to the second charge now, and we're just going to sort of, so her damage is 420% to all enemies. He does 300 and hers is 530. So I just want to compare the damage. So we'll check our Armin's damage here. So he's obviously a lot newer hero. He's doing around 500 to 700 damage. I did have defense up on some of those heroes, so we'll see what difference that makes. I will slow this down when I edit, and sort of at the end of the battle, after I ramble a bit, I'll show you the differences in hits and that sort of thing, just to give you an idea of exactly what you are going to get. So we'll now see the damage. Obviously, I've got the minions up. It's not going to hurt me much. I've got defense up going on. We'll see that hit. It's around 285 I've seen. So even at 420, we can see the attack stat there is 1125 as opposed to sort of 2000. So again, with older heroes, you are getting a lot less stats, keeping in mind that they may have costumes. But the thing with a lot of the heroes in Fated Summons is we know that there's probably costumes coming out soon. But the thing is, if you get the hero now and then start trying to get the costume when the costume comes out, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I have the hero, I'm going to try and get the costume. If you go for the costume, you get the hero again anyway. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. If you have the hero, you think, oh, yeah, I want that costume. But, yeah, if you chase it, and it might make you go for the costume a little bit more because you already have the hero, even if the costume may not be as good as some of the other heroes in the portal. So just keep that in mind. But there's an example of Milena, the heal, and also the damage. Definitely better used on offense where you have control over taking the charge as you need it, whether you want the heal or whether you want to hold off for the damage. So hope that helps with your decision with the Fated Summons. Also, a shout out to GJC, who at the drop of a hat threw Milena on defense for me. This is just another reason why you need to get yourself into an active alliance with members who are happy to help you out. It will just make the game so much better for you. So thanks again, GJC. We've found a double limit broken emblemed Hulda. You can see the stats are still obviously not as good as newer heroes, but we can see the HP there with I'm presuming that has a matching legendary 2600 as opposed to 3100 there. So not a huge difference, but you can see a lot of difference in the attack and defense with the newer hero. Again, that's to be expected. A run through, we have the summons a lava minion for each ally with 31% HP, inherited from the caster. The minion then recovers 11% health for its owner at the end of each turn. When summoned, the minion also gives 24% mana generation for its owner and also 54% defense. So I find Hulda quite difficult to deal with, especially once she gets that first minion up. She is quite weak, but we'll just see here, once she gets that minion up, with the extra mana generation and the extra defense, it just makes it so hard to bust through. I also have Motega here, who's in the Fated Summons. I still think he's decent. His minions are a little bit weak. His fiends, I feel, with the minus 50% accuracy are quite good, and the versatility. Hopefully I can sort of show a bit of a test here as well. But we'll see these minions from Hulda have 807. So again, it's decent. It's a little low compared to some of the newer ones that have, close to 2,000. But it's quite beefy, and we'll also see how much they heal at the end of each round. You can see there a little cascade. Hasn't done a great deal, but with the extra mana generation, she's got another minion straight up. And you can see there each one is healing for about 280 to 300. So now she's got that's 600 heal every round for as long as those minions are there. So it is hard to it's hard to take her as a healer because she doesn't actually heal until those minions are there. So it's a very hard one to judge, as opposed to, look, we'll say Thalassa here, who's boosting 500 health. That's great if you need it. And, we've got Jiao Chan, who's doing a 33% heal, which is probably going to be close to, 1,200. But whereas Hulda doesn't do anything straight up, once those minions are there, she's just giving that ongoing health over and over and over. So it is hard to judge in regards to a healer, but if you think of Hulda more as a support hero than a healer, but just gives that extra healing as well. Well, you need to think that she's not a healer until she gets those minions up, basically, if that makes sense. And we'll see here, it just speeds everyone else up. Like even Asania at slow is speeding up quite quickly over there. Hulda's gone off again already. And this is the issue I find. Once she goes off, she's got that big defense, 40% defense. 54% defense from the minion. It does just really, really make it hard to get rid of, because you have to kill the minions. If you have a minion remover, it's nice and easy. But anyway, so again, I hope that shows the power of Hulda, and we'll see now she's got 3 minions up. Those heals are just going to be huge every single turn. We can see Motega's minions got killed pretty quickly. Didn't even get their damage increase up. So I will just quickly run through here. So once those minions are up there, it actually gives plus 20% increase to all received damage for 3 turns. So any damage you do to those heroes afterwards is giving plus 20% extra damage, which is really great. Once he gets the Fiends up, they give minus 50% accuracy. So he has a little bit of versatility, but it's not a hero I would be hugely suggesting. It would be an extremely niche sort of thing you would need to fix. We can see Hulda there basically dealing, around about 900 health every single turn, and she's just ready to fire again. We'll compare that to Costume Diao-chan. Her heal there is around 1400 on herself, so quite a big heal. She has a lot of HP, so if you think about 1000 to 1400, Hulda is now doing that every single turn until you can get rid of those minions. So again, hope that highlights Hulda's usefulness and the power. Even though she is quite weak still, I'm just going to see if I can get Motega's Fiends up in the same video, just to show what that's going to do as well. It is quite difficult to get the exact scenarios where you can show just what every hero can do. But yeah, hopefully you can see every single turn now, Hulda's just getting charged quicker and quicker. Any sort of cascade will set her off again. She then just throws up another minion, which is another 800 HP basically, meat shield, and keeps that defense up and mana gen up. All right, we'll just get these Fiends up to show their blind. The good thing is with the Fiends is it automatically puts the blind on. It doesn't have to wait for a hit. So as long as that Fiend is there, that's just going to have that minus 50% accuracy. It doesn't have to wait for a hit like his minions do. And I'll just see if I can get his minions up again as well. Hopefully I can before I'm embedded. And this is the power of Hulda. She just stalls you out for so long that sooner or later your healers aren't charged and their damage dealers just slowly pick you away and kill you. So it's where a lot of people think that because she's not doing anything, there's no direct heal, she's not doing any damage and that sort of thing, that it just isn't something that's going to prove overly useful. But definitely, again, depending on the level you're playing at, can give you exactly what you need. Unfortunately, didn't show Motega's there, but yeah, he just gives a little bit of that minus extra damage to the enemy. Hope that helped you see both those heroes. Again, I wouldn't be recommending Motega, even though I still feel he has a little bit of usefulness. Very low on the scale, though, to be honest. But Hulda can still prove extremely useful. Keeping in mind, I wasn't playing these battles to try and win. It's just to highlight the strengths of certain heroes available in the Fated Summons. So just showing the power of an Eloise. I'm not saying it's one of the better heroes or something you need, but just trying to highlight where these heroes can be useful, because a lot of people just jump in with the normal comments, oh, that's crap, she's crap. Ludwig's great, get Ludwig. That's fine, Ludwig is fantastic. But I just want to try and show where heroes can be useful. I did the same with Esme in regards to Fiends and Eloise. So mine is only level 80, only has one emblem, so keep in mind it can be stronger than it is. They are old heroes, so they will be lower in stats. But just going to compare the difference when there are minions on the enemy team and the damage that can be done. So yeah, I'll test her. She also has a 270% damage after removing the minions, and I'll just test against a brand new hero. We can see the difference in attack: 2200 to 1000, and this guy hits for 350% damage. So I'm just going to show the difference in the damage. So this guy's obviously going to hit a lot harder, but because there are minions, we'll see how useful Eloise can be when there's minions available. We can see these minions have 1700 HP. So just keep that in mind. So first up, I'm going to use Eloise because she won't remove this minion because Cao has the minion resistance against minion removal. But we'll show you here. So again, 1700 HP. So her hit's going to be quite low, but keep this in mind. So we can see the damage was only 150. They do have defense up. So without that defense up, you're looking at 250 damage per hit. If she was limit broken and emblem, that would probably be closer to around 400, I would say, against newer heroes, because again, they are quite weak. But on top of that hit, we've removed a minion that had 1700 HP. So multiply that by 4, and you're looking at almost 8,000 damage in total. If you don't have another minion remover on your roster, then Eloise can be extremely useful. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying to get it. Now we're going to hit with Frankie boy over here, my main man. And again, I'll show this at the end of the battle. I'll slow it down and show the differences in attack and that in damage. But we'll see. So Frank hits for about 750. So if we had Eloise fully limit broken like Frank, she may be hitting for about 400. He hits almost twice that much. So that's the obvious advantage. He has other things going on as well. I'm only showing the damage. Remember, they have defense up. But we can see the minion here still has 696 health. So his hit basically did nothing apart from remove some of that minion's health. So yes, he did 800 or 900 damage. He did twice as much damage as Eloise. But if we add up the total damage, he did only hit 3. If there was another Mega Minion, he'd hit 5. So keep that in mind. We'll just pretend he hit 5. Say he hit 5 people at 800. That's 4,000 damage. Eloise, by removing those 4 minions, did around 8,000 damage. So again, I'm not pushing Eloise as someone you should go and get. Ludwig is extremely useful and can be used in many ways, but if you are looking for someone, like if you have pretty good teams at the moment and you're happy with where you're at, but you really struggle against minions, some of these big minion summoners where their minions have, close to 2,000 HP, Eloise can be absolutely fantastic for you as just removing those minions. As I said, it's doing about 8,000 damage. So again, I hope that shows how useful even a hero that most people will say is crap can be in certain scenarios. I'm now going to show the same thing with Eloise against a Mega Minion, as the special skill does also damage Mega Minions. It doesn't remove them fully, but will damage them. So we'll just let a good old Boom and Fang fire off and get his Mega Minion. Now, Mega Minion has 1,376 HP. They can obviously have a lot more than that. If they're like Boom and Fang, if he was completely double limit broken with all emblems and that sort of thing. So this one, and matching Legend Troop makes a huge difference. So imagine that Mega Minion's closer to 2,000 HP we see on some. We'll fire off Fangs first on this instance. and I stuffed that up totally because I didn't actually target the right person. So we'll just see the damage on the Mega Minion here. Sorry about that. I'm very tired. So we can see, even though it was quite a small hit, it's taken off half of the Mega Minion's health straight up to start with, and then done some damage on top of that. So quite useful. Not as useful against the minions where it fully removes them, because some of the minions have almost as much HP as this Mega Minion. So, or if in more in some cases, if they have matching troops and that sort of thing. So it's not as fantastic against Mega Minions. I definitely wouldn't be suggesting it as any sort of Mega Minion counter. It's just a small bonus that if you are going against a team that has minions and also a Mega Minion, it does a little bit of damage with that as well. All right. As a comparison, we're just going to see Frankie boys hit over here onto the Mega Minion to see what sort of damage it does. So same sort of deal. The Minion has 1300. Mega Minion, keeping in mind that's quite a weak Mega Minion. Eloise's hit does half of that straight up and then does the damage on top. So with Frank, who has a much bigger hit, we will see what sort of impact it has. So we see there, it's probably around about the same impact with that Mega Minion. So even though he's hitting for 350% as opposed to 270 and has twice as much attack power, the end result is about the same. So I don't feel the result is as good on Mega Minions when it comes to Eloise. It's more so just if you're struggling against those minion teams, she can be an absolute lifesaver to get rid of those minions and then allow your other hitters to actually hit them and kill them before they can get more minions. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps you out. And now we'll have a look at Ray. It's a miracle. After I don't know how long clicking the reroll button, I finally came across a Ray. I almost actually re-rolled past him because I was going so fast. You can see my ham there, 92,000. I think I've gone through about 1 million ham doing re-rolls. Anyway, we have Ray. We will test him out. He has that same bonus as I discussed earlier with Milena. So it gets a 50% chance as a solo hero to do a 5% mana generation stack. On one of his allies, goes up to 75 and 100%. If you have 3 of them, that can be quite good and you can add it up pretty quickly, but apart from that, it's nothing special. This one is double limit broken. We can see the stats there. Again, quite low. They all are. Has ailment immunity, which isn't too bad as a double LB. When he casts his special, has 50% chance to give it 10% mana to all allies, which is great. If the special is fully charged, it's 100%, and also has the other passive, which is a stack on special. So when he casts his special, all enemies get minus 5% mana generation stack. If the special skill is fully charged, they get 2 stacks. So that is quite handy. I do like that one. Anything that lowers the enemy's mana, I do really like. It does just make it harder for them to do things. So we'll see if we can get him charged up and have a look at him. So on these first charges, all enemies receive 591 burn damage over 3 turns, so a couple of hundred per turn. All enemies get minus 34 defense against fire and dispels buffs. So it's a very fast dispel. Does the defense down against fire, so you've paired him with other fire heroes, they're just going to do more damage, and he just adds that burn up nice and quickly. If you can just keep shooting that off every couple of, you get 2 or 3 turns, and then you replace it. There's a couple of older heroes now that increase burn damage, although we did also see the new dagger increases burn damage, but he also does burn damage with his core. Hope all that makes sense. If not, go watch my dagger hero review video. But yeah, so that will increase that burn damage as well. On the second charge, he's regenerating at 1200 HP or 1190 over 5 turns. So that's around about 250 per turn, a little bit less. Not too bad. A little bit slow now with that regen, but you're generally using him for his very fast hit where you just continually put that burn damage on and dispel anything that the enemy has. On that second charge, all allies get plus 50% attack against nature and also then does the cleanse. So again, gives that flexibility of two different skills. If you don't want the first one, you can try and save it up for the second, but otherwise you can just keep firing that first one off over and over again. Let's get in and see if we can get him in action. And you see there, he charges quite quickly, so bang, he's already up. You see there, we've got 4 people that ended up with the mana down. Costume Diao-Chan didn't, so now we're getting minus 5% mana. That's very handy. We've got the burn on that's going to do 238 damage per turn. See if I can get him to his second charge. I didn't get a chance to show Motega's minions earlier, so I'm going to do that now. You'll see that they hit at the end of this turn, and we'll start giving added damage to everyone. Hope that gets him up to his second charge. So we can see there Motega's minion has put in the received damage is increased by 20% for 2 turns, and they just keep hitting. They are kind of weak. You can see they're already gone. So Ray this time is going to do a big regen for himself and his allies. They're going to get extra attack against greens and go to cleanse. So what I'll do is I'll throw on Crawmy Boy. He will give them all some ailments. We can see we've got sand damage there, some fire damage there, and we'll see what Ray can do. And so got rid of all those ailments. Also put the regen on there, which was unfortunately, I believe, overridden by yes, so they're only regenerating 600 over 4 turns now because Marie overrode it, but otherwise it would have been 1190 over 5, so it would have been higher than it is now. So around about 250 per turn, thereabouts. So not a bad one, can be dispelled, does take a little bit of time to add up, but again, for an older hero, has the versatility of 2 different charges, definitely a worthwhile consideration, purely just for that very fast dispel. Can be amazing to get rid of. You know, if your enemies get counterattack up, anything like that, you can hit them with Ray. He doesn't do direct damage, so that's fine. He's not going to get any counterattack before he does the dispel because it's not a priority dispel. It happens after the other bits. But yeah, it's not going to give him any counter damage, and then he dispels it, so your other hitters can go through. On top of that, he's given the defense down against fire, so fantastic for that very fast hitter straight up to then allow your other heroes to do a lot more damage. Yeah, I hope that shows you what he's done. As always, if you enjoy what I'm putting out, gently press the subscribe button, give your kitty a scratch for me. If you'd like to see more testing, I think I've done the sort of the main ones that you would be considering to select. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it really helps you with your choice, and I hope you enjoy whichever hero you do pick. Have a good one.